Hey everyone, how are you? David DeFranco here from DeFrancoGaming.com. Yes, that website does still exist, so check it out if you're interested in viewing my video game collection. And that's exactly what today's video is all about. It's all about my PlayStation Vita and the games that I've acquired since, well, getting my PlayStation Vita about a couple months ago. Now, a viewer was nice enough to send in this video request named Sam, so shout out to Sam. And check out Sam's link right below. And that's just my way of thanking people for sending in video ideas, and I really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's jump right into my collection, starting out with the case that I actually use for my PlayStation Vita. Now, I believe this is called the Butter Fox. I'm not entirely sure, but of course, as always, I will link you guys right below on Amazon, so check it out if you're interested. Anyway, this case is actually really cool. We have two compartments, one up top for your games, which are actually stored in these little pockets. And then up here you have another, well, a large pocket for headphones, accessories, and anything else that fits, basically. But I primarily just use it for headphones, and it works very well for that. But on the bottom compartment, this is where you store your PlayStation Vita. So there it is. You do have straps on the bottom to hold your PlayStation Vita in place. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. So I kind of carefully just put it in myself and then zip it up. Bada bing, bada boom, I'm done. So now with that out of the way, let's get to the more exciting part, because without the games, there's no point in owning a PlayStation Vita, right? Of course. So let's talk about them. And the first game up is PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which is honestly, and let's not beat around the bush here, guys, this is Sony's version of Super Smash Bros. Now, it's not nearly as good as Super Smash Bros., but I gotta say, for what it is, it's pretty damn fun, and it definitely fills that void of wanting like a Smash Bros.-like experience on something that is not a Nintendo handheld. So Sony does a pretty good job overall, and it's definitely worth playing. And plus, guys, come on. It has Parappa the Rapper in it, who just happens to be one of my favorite all-time video game characters. And whatever happened to him? Come on, give us a new Parappa the Rapper game, please. I would buy that on day one. So the next game is Mortal Kombat. This is exactly like the Mortal Kombat game that I have on the Xbox 360. I believe it's Mortal Kombat 9. I'm not entirely sure, but I know Mortal Kombat 10, also known as Mortal Kombat X, is coming out not too far from now. But this does allow you to play as Kratos from God of War, which I actually haven't played yet. I primarily just play as, well, actually I'm playing the story mode right now, so I'm playing all the characters. But usually I prefer like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Cyrax? I mean, yeah, I was a pretty big Cyrax fan back in the day. And Liu Kang, all them, so, I mean, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy this. It's just an awesome game overall. Next up is Resistance Burning Skies. Unfortunately, I have not had the time to play this yet because I've been putting all my free time into playing, well, other video games and Thief on the PS4 and the Destiny beta, which is awesome. But eventually, I will get around to playing this, and as far as I can tell in the back, it looks pretty cool. So soon, I promise, very soon. And I just dropped them all. Now, this next game I've actually been playing a lot lately, and that is Tearaway. It's actually really good. Now, I wouldn't say it's an amazing game, but I will say it's one of the most unique games I've ever played, at least in terms of its visual art style. And just like the title suggests, Tearaway, you play with kind of like a paper-like environment. And I gotta say, it feels really cool, and it makes excellent use of the PlayStation Vita's touchscreen and touchpad. So in other words, if you're looking for a game that really takes advantage of the PlayStation Vita's exclusive features, definitely check out Tearaway. I think you'll enjoy it. And honestly, it has kind of like a Little Big Planet feel. I mean, it plays nothing like Little Big Planet, but art style-wise and music-wise, it just reminds me of it. Now, this next game is not nearly exciting, but it is pretty fun, and it's good enough to pick up for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. And that is Luminous Electronic Symphony. Now, as I said in a past David's Tech Haul video, I do own the original Luminous game on the PSP. So this is kind of like the sequel, and PlayStation Vita, in a way, is like the PSP 2, so it makes sense. And like I said, it's a fun game. It's not overly exciting, but it's definitely good enough to pick up for a quick play session here and there. And I love music, and I love music-based games. So this definitely fills that void. And I think it's worth playing as long as you're not going to pay over like $20 for it. But who knows? Maybe there are others out there who play Luminous a lot more than I do. It's just not my favorite. Now this next game I'm enjoying very much, and that is Little Big Planet, which is actually, as far as I can tell so far, its own game for the PlayStation Vita. Now I emphasize that because going into this, I honestly thought it was just a PlayStation 3 version that I played years ago, but with some new exclusive features meant for the PlayStation Vita only. But I am very glad to say it's its own game, and it's a lot of fun. The graphics are awesome, the music is awesome, the physics are just downright amazing. You guys know I love my physics. And honestly, it makes excellent use of the PlayStation Vita's touchscreen, the touchpad, and overall it just feels like a very fresh experience. Now the only downside, and this is just me being completely honest, is it doesn't feel as responsive on the touchscreen as it does on Tearaway, but it's definitely good enough and it doesn't get really in the way of gameplay, and it just overall is a very enjoyable experience. So if you have a PlayStation Vita and you enjoyed Little Big Planet on the PlayStation 3 and for some reason you do not own this yet, pick it up, you will not be disappointed. And now for the last game, which I have not played yet, God of War Collection. This looks awesome. Okay, so the only reason why I haven't jumped into this yet, well, simply because I'm waiting to beat Tearaway on the PlayStation Vita as well as Thief on the PlayStation 4. Because I used to have this horrible habit of when I was younger, jumping from game to game to game, which usually resulted in me never finishing Game A, Game B, but I finished Game C. So nowadays, I'm a lot more focused. I take my time. I'm more patient. So in other words, as soon as I beat those other games, the next game on the list is this, the God of War Collection. And I'm really excited about playing this because I've actually never owned a God of War game before this. And trust me, as a gamer, I'm ashamed to say that because I've heard some amazing things about this series, and I know my friend Chris is a huge fan of God of War, so I'm really excited about finally experiencing this for myself. So there you have it. That is my PlayStation Vita collection as of today. Of course, for your convenience, I will list every single game right below in the video description, as well as my PlayStation Vita case, which is right here. And guys, I promise you, this case is easily worth it. I believe I paid like $20 for it, which is not bad at all. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any questions about PlayStation Vita games, let me know. And of course, if you have any suggestions for PlayStation Vita games that you think I would enjoy, please do not hesitate to comment right below. I'm always interested in getting my hands on new experiences. So guys, thank you. Your support means the world to me, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.